Stay tuned to meet our newest Acclaimed Homeowners partner, St.Gregorys. I'm Tammy from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling, and Furnace Cleaning, and I have
Gregory, or Greg.
Yeah, from St.Gregorys Landscaping. The Dear Keven letter this week is actually to Greg. And Greg is one of our newest homeowner partnerships that we have brought on board, and we are so grateful to have him and his team as a referral partner, because landscaping is one of those things that we all struggle with what to do with our ground that we have and make it beautiful, and we look at our neighbor's yard and think we want one of those. But
Definitely.
Yeah, Greg will come out and give us some information. But first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to tackle a drainage problem. All right, Greg, ready?
Well, drainage problem is a very common issue, especially at Edmonton. We get these big, huge floods in the summer, which can create havoc at basements.
Yeah.
So, especially older houses, around the foundation, it sinks over time, and as a result, you have to bring more material back in to create a positive slope.
Okay, so let's head to this letter directly to you. Isn't that great?
Great.
Yeah, okay. Dear Greg of St. Gregory's Landscaping, our home is in an older neighborhood in the city, which comes with a fair share of pros and cons. We started to notice last summer that when we are getting more and more water in our basement, anytime there are big storms. I think our lawn slopes towards our house, which is not allowing the rainwater to properly drain. Can I prevent water from getting into my basement due to this drainage issue? Signed, no longer singing in the rain.
Good one.
Yeah, so what do you think about that?
Well, like I just said, when in that specific situation, you have to build up the foundation around the house. It just sounds like it has sunk over time, and when the water gets in, the path of least resistance, it can create havoc.
Okay.
So another quick issue is making sure that your downspouts are open or down, and also you clean your eaves trough, because a lot of times you get a big bucket of rain coming down, and if they're clogged, it just overflows onto the drainage or the foundation area.
Yeah. So in our neighborhood, we live in Parkview, and there's a lot of homes, new infills.
Yes.
And I'm noticing people, I've heard people that talk about that have they've never had a drainage issue before,
Right.
And then they have a new bill beside them, and then all of a sudden they have water in their basement. And so how do you address that? These homes are quite a bit higher than where they are, and so how do you as a landscaper come in, how do you tackle that?
Well, again, there's a lot of infills in the city right now, and what usually happens if an infill, there's either going to be a house that's going to be higher than your neighbors. So as a result, you're going to have to create a swale and a drainage.
Okay.
What we do is use, it's called a perforated weeping towel pipe, which redirects the water from either the front to the back or back to the front. But the city even requires swales now, so that the water catches in there and then runs to the street.
Okay, so now is that a problem? What is more economical to do? To put in just big window wells, or to do some landscaping? So, and I know which one looks better. The landscaping at the end looks much nicer, but which is more economical to do?
Well, I think that you need to do both. I
Okay.
mean, you need to do the positive grading and making sure it's functional and it drains properly, but also you need to make sure you finish it,
Right.
whether it's rock or, especially if the window wells, you've got to build it up. So again, it's both functional and aesthetic.
Okay, great. Well, that makes a lot of sense. That sounds really cool, and we're really glad that Greg is going to be on for some interviews over the next month. On Tuesdays, we'll be posting some weekly interviews and questions for Greg and his team, and it's great to get to know you better and what you do and all the. One of the things that I did know about you. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, somebody who's used your service in the past.
Yes.
When I asked, I said, "What do you use St. Gregory's?" And she said yes. And I said, "How would you describe your experience with St. Gregory's and Greg himself?" And he said, "This is a gentleman that does continual communication with us." And I felt like throughout the whole process, which you could be with them for weeks.
Yes.
Or weeks.
You get to know them well.
Yes. And that the communication was spot on.
Oh, that's
That's
kind.
Yeah, and it felt, and just kind of checking in along the way to see if the vision that you had and they had were aligned, and to redirect as you went along,
Yes.
which I think is imperative, because I would imagine with something so artistic, there are things that are in one person's head versus what's on what's the reality. And
Right.
so it's important to keep checking in and seeing and adjust and
Yeah.
and go change. I'm sure your plan is continually adjusting and doing that. So that was one thing that she had said that she was
that's
just
great.
like, yeah. Well, I know you've got a lot of fans in that you've done landscaping for, and so that's important. But it's a nice thing to hear. It's always nice to hear nice stuff,
I know.
right?
That's a
Yeah, it's
compliment.
good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So Greg and his team have come on, and we are very proud to share his great information, like I had mentioned, over the next month. And we also have some great pictures that we're going to be sharing along the line of things that you've done, and very visually appealing. All the great stuff that you do. And would you say that you do mostly your landscaping with rocks and stuff has really come on in the last couple of years and being more affordable, I think, than it was years ago.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, so sort of our niche is we like to do a lot of creative, sort of natural, custom landscapes.
Okay.
So incorporating rockery and flagstone and perennial gardens and
Perennial gardens.
so
I love that, as
yeah.
opposed to having to manage all these annuals that we
Yes,
never
and-
do so well. I don't do so well.
segue. So it's more maintenance free.
Yes.
So that's, I mean, we all live in our busy lives, and you want to come home and enjoy your yard
Yes.
and have a glass of vino or something.
Yes.
And not have to go and run back in the house because you don't want to be out there.
Yes, and look
So
at
you
all the
wanna-
work you need to do.
Yes, so you want to just enjoy it.
And-
Relatively maintenance. There's still a bit of work that you have to do.
Yes.
But
And how very cool that that you can tackle that and get this done earlier on. So how would somebody? When's the best time of year to do landscaping?
you know, really, I mean, our season is quite short, but
Mm-hmm.
you can do it. I mean, this year's a little delayed, but usually May to the end of October.
End of October.
Oh yeah, even if it's cold, it's fine. I mean, you can't do the perennials then, but
Yep.
some bigger trees you can plant and the landscaping.
So it's never too late, really, to
Nope.
call you and get things going. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. We will please like our Facebook page, like Greg's St.Gregorys Landscaping Facebook page. They have Facebook, Instagram, very visually appealing stuff for you guys on Instagram to see. And we have a contest, and you have a contest that
Yes.
we have between a partnership between St.Gregorys and Acclaimed. If you like our Facebook page, St.Gregorys, and then you can get put into a monthly draw for is it Cactus Club?
Cactus Club, yeah.
Oh, love it. So it's
Good
pinned.
food,
Good food. So it's pinned on the Claims page, and I believe on St.Gregorys, and then you can go into that and sign up for that. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, Greg.
Thanks so much, Tom.
All right.